What's up, everyone? Happy Wednesday, October 4th. Hope your week is going well so far. Hopefully, your Wednesday is going well as well. Um, let's just dive right in. Today's title is A Despised Outcast. It says, as Jesus went on from there, he saw a man called Matthew sitting in the tax collector's office. And he said to him, "Follow me." And he got up and followed him. Matthew 9:9. It says, as a Jewish tax collector working for the Romans, Matthew would have been viewed as a traitor to other Jews for forsaking his people to serve their enemy. He would, however, have been wealthy. Still, when Jesus saw Matthew and invited him to follow him, Matthew immediately got up. He did not hesitate to leave his riches and go where Jesus went. That amazes me, right? There's so many people in the Bible that when Jesus said follow me, they did it. No questions asked, without knowing where he was going or what his plan was. And that blows my mind. Because we, today as Christians, know the end game, right? We know that Jesus came, Jesus died, Jesus rose, Jesus is coming back again, and yet it's still hard for us to follow him when he says to follow. Matthew was considered a sinner by the Pharisees, and to be seen with him would have been a disgrace. Yet Jesus didn't seem to mind that Matthew had betrayed his own people before he called him. What mattered to Jesus was Matthew's willingness to leave his life behind and accept Jesus' invitation to something different. No matter what you've done in the past or how others may look at you, when you accept the call to follow Jesus, you can find a new purpose for the gifts God has given you. I like that. Right there at the end, you can find a new purpose for the gifts God has given you. We all have gifts that God has given us, right? And before we are followers of Christ, maybe you're not a follower of Christ, but if you are not a follower of Christ, or before, you still had those gifts, right? You still had the gifts that God has given you. You still had God-given abilities. But after we come to know Jesus, we find a whole new meaning and a whole new reason to use those gifts. We can use stuff, little things, for the glory of God, right? Take, me being a teacher, for example. That's something that I can use every day for the glory of God, right? I can encourage my kids. I can, try and be a positive influence in their life. That's something that is a God-given ability that I can use because I know Jesus. I can use that to glorify him. There's abilities that we have that we can use. Absolutely, we can use before we're followers of Christ, and that we probably did use before we were followers of Christ. But once we know Christ, those abilities, the reason for using those abilities should shift, and it go from glorifying us to glorifying Christ. When God says, follow me, we should jump on it. Not just sit back and say, no, God. We should jump on it and be willing to follow him wherever he leads. Everyone have a great Wednesday. Have a great rest of your week, and go be the example.